I had a question about the NFL and about how free agency, but from a doctor's perspective of like, can you just give us a quick like? I know we don't got a lot of time, but run us down if you like being a doctor when we hear, yeah, pending medicals, pending this, pending that. Is it like a training camp review medical? Is it a full physical? Like when these guys are going to come in, and I'm talking more trades and free agencies, but when you have to evaluate a guy to a new organization, right? Can you take us through what that process looks like from your perspective?
mean, from our, I made a reference. It's like Carfax, right? So like when you have a seasoned player, but even the rookies, even the guys who are out 1 to 2 years, you're looking at high school records, you're looking at college records, you're looking at all his records. We're looking for where the deficits are. Even if he injured himself in high school, did he rehab it properly? Is he got proper balance? We want to look for your number one risk factor for an injury is a previous injury. So all that stuff checks off. Guys that are older, what's the shape of their ankles, their knees, their hips? We really just do a detailed physical. But then if we find out that they had some type of injury, one, we identify as the injury healed, and did they recover properly? And we look at firing patterns, muscle firing patterns, which is a more, like I say, we always peel back 1 to 2 to 5 layers. You want to peel back on this because it is a risk of an injury. If he's weak, or he's favoring one side, or he's wearing on his knee a little bit because he's favoring that ankle, those are all things we look at. We look at muscle balance. We look at, lifting weights and doing push-ups and, pushing on the bench and speed training. Yeah, we're past that. We're at what's going on, how are you feeling, what can we predict and be proactive about. Is that kind of what you were looking for?
Yeah. Absolutely, because what goes into it? Because you got to give it that check mark off, whether it's to trade the guy, and there's different red flags depending, like you said, which sport, which would turn you off even more. Correct.
What's probably become bigger in the industry is the psychological too, the brain that we really can't. There's no, there's some Carfax on that to be generic, but temper wise, what's he doing off the field? What's he doing on the field? How, these guys, I mean, it's a different world than it was 20 years ago. You didn't even think about it. Nobody was considered soft or emotional or, it's just becoming part of the game that the brain part is a harder evaluation. There is psych testing that you do. There's red flags that can show up on that. But I think overall, to answer your question, it's more of that physical. We'll go from head to toe, looking at everything, and then we look for the norms, and then when we see differences side to side, like for instance, like shoulder, like pitchers for baseball, they have all this extra flexibility in their throwing arm, so it doesn't match up. But other than that, then quarterbacks and pitchers, they should have a lot of symmetry from side to side, and that's what we look for. Like we had one, it was funny, we had a college softball player who's a pitcher. Her right arm was twice the size of her left. I mean, that's just,
I had
it
the
makes
same
sense.
problem when I was 14.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's from pitching.
No, it was not. You want to talk a little bit about the hot yoga?
So, I've had a lot of change in life. I took my trip to Israel. I lost my brother, and just, you got to start doing things. I think the message to people are, try something you haven't tried. Do things you haven't done. Say thank you. Say love you. It's just that kind of thing. So they've been bugging me to do pickleball, which I did last week, and now this hot yoga thing. So I'm trying to venture out to expand my base, and I did hot yoga yesterday.
How are we not getting video of these things? Like,
How
you got
was
to
it? Would
provide
you
us with
recommend it?
video when you come in and we talk about these.
Would you recommend it?
Hot yoga?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's crazy. I did an hour on Sunday, and they called me new guy because these people literally standing straight up, put their head down to their knee and grab the back of their ankles. That could be a different story, but it was unbelievable.
Should call her.
Were you talking Coonins on Friday now, Spencer? What's going on?
I couldn't be like, well, just bend your knee up, bend your knee up. I'm like, no, I can't do it.
How hot is the room?
It was 104, and we had to open the door probably because of me.
Yeah.
I sat there in the hour and a half. I got through the first hour. The last half hour, I just kept laying there on the towel saying, just walk out for 5 minutes. Just walk. And I did it. But the concept is great, right? That warming up your body, flexibility, stretching, you do feel. It's funny, from the instructor standpoint, they were talking about compression of your internal organs. Your pancreas, your spleen. She kept throwing things out. I'm like, this is full, but a lot of people have issues with irritable bowel and things like that. You start moving and mobilizing like that, it does create mobility into your internal systems. And it does help. And the sweat, the good sweat, and also the hydration that you have to do is all healthy for the body. The flexibility of the body is phenomenal. And it's funny, she even mentioned that, she was a runner too, the instructor. And after she ran, certain muscles were tightening up and she took the yoga off. And it just understands that the best machine ever made is the human body.
Damn right.
It's
the American human body.
The American.
Thank you.
America.
No, but hot yoga, it's thumbs up from Dr. Pierce, even though I couldn't do it. I think I will try harder. It really showed me some of my weaknesses. Like I have a bad back with a terrible left side. I couldn't balance on my left side. And it was like the weakness, the shakiness. It was like I got to do something.
What's next on the Doc's world travel or I'm trying it out phase?
I'm going to Utah on Friday. We have some meetings out in Utah, and I'll be skiing, which I haven't skied in about 8 years. So that's another new thing we're going to be pushing. But I encourage everybody, stop. Today's the day to start. Don't wait for monumental birthdays or first of the years. You gotta be healthy. We gotta be proactive. The other thing is the mental picture. The mental picture in our country is just out of whack. You gotta be mentally tough. If you need the meditation, if you need the yoga, if you need that deep breathing, that relaxation of your body, you don't realize. I challenge everybody to take a deep breath who's listening or will listen to this show, to take a deep breath and realize how tense your jaw is, your neck is, and your upper body. When you just let it relax and go. And it goes all the way down to your pinky, to your little toe. Yep. So I'm not getting freaky and spiritual, but I
From
think
your head down to your toenails.
No, but I took a class in college where they taught us that too. And the professor was just like, hey, you're sitting there right now. You think you're pretty relaxed. Actually drop your shoulders. Right. And everybody had another 2 or 3 inches on their shoulders that they could have dropped to get to that level of relaxation. Well, thank you for coming in, Doc. I'm glad you made it by the end of the show.
Yes.
Always great to talk about you. Can't wait to hear about your next adventure. You'll be on Thursday with Ermanni and Edwards?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
In studio.
Dr. Pierce from the Michigan Sports and Spine Center, and he's here.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insight with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that I trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.